What is up, everybody? BlueDog35 here. This is the EJ251 that I'm working on that goes in my Scuba Screw Forester, which is right behind me. The angle isn't the greatest, but I also don't have the greatest lighting in my my garage here, so you'll have to bear with me and believe many things that I say that I cannot prove on camera at the moment. You know, like I have a massive, But anyways, these are the valve adjustments. So I have the valve rockers, or the valve covers off. These are the rockers. Camshaft goes straight along here. This right here is the camshaft pulley, which in turn is driven by a belt. You know, timing belts and all that lovely crap. When the engine spins, the crank spins the belt spins the pulley spins the camshaft, which in turn opens and closes the valves with these rockers via lobes and egg-shaped witchcraft and wizardry. So Harry Potter is in here somewhere. I just haven't found him yet. So I don't know. I am going to do valve adjustments. So with this car, or with this particular engine, you get the cylinder that you would like to do at top dead center, which I have done. And all you need is a 10mm spanner, wrench, whatever you want to call it, and a flat blade screwdriver. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. You also need feeler gauges, but I have seemed to misplace mine. They have vanished from the material sphere. So I'm kind of doing this, I guess, by eye. But these are the intake ones, and then these are the exhaust ones. So the ones that have separate rockers for each valve are the intakes, and the ones that have separate, or the same rocker for the bottom ones, technically, even though I have the engine upended. So the top ones, which are the intakes, they are set to 8 thousandths of an inch. So you're going to take your feeler gauge, have it take the one that says 8 or whatever, and you're going to stuff it in there, see if it works. If it fits, you're going to loosen the bolt or the nut here, and then you're going to run this down until it is snug. Not super tight, but you're going to run it down until it's snug with the feeler gauge in position. Then you're going to take your 10mm wrench and just kind of honk that down. Nothing crazy, just give it a little, you know, whatever. So I'm doing this by feel, so that was a little bit too tight. We're going to back this off, and you want a little bit of play, nothing insane. So we are, I'd call, nah, that's a little too not much. So yeah, it's welcome to the wonderful world of engine building. See, now that's too much. So this is the stuff that you go through with, there we go, I'm going to call that good. This is the stuff that you go through building an engine and actually setting it up the right way. We're going to do the same for this one, which I have already loosened that I forgot. So we're going to tighten it just a little, give it a feel, and we're going to put our wrench on here and see how that is. It's still a little bit loose, so we're going to loosen the nut, tighten the bolt, tighten the nut. Now that one's a little too tight. So this is all by feel. If you have an actual feeler gauge, then it'll be a lot easier for you. So these two are pretty much identical. This one's slightly looser than this one, but it'll be okay. I'm going to tighten these guys down because that's the final adjustment. So boom, now we'll go at it left-handed. And I have already loosened these. Man, I am just not prepared. So these ones you kind of have to do together, which is kind of a pain because you never quite know, because they aren't their own thing. Know what I'm saying? So we're gonna give it a little bit of a, we're gonna, yeah. So these are supposed to be a little bit looser than the intake. So these ones are the intake. They're set to 8. These are gonna be set to 13. So that's thousandths of an inch. So you want a little more play in these ones than these ones. So there is some play, but it's about the same for this. I know you can't really tell because, you know, the engine shakes when I shake it, but I can feel it because, you know, I've done this before. Not to sound condescending, not my goal at all, but we're going to back that off just a little bit. And we're going to back this off just a little bit. And I'm going to use my good hand here. And this one has a little more play than these ones. So I'm going to call this one good. Now, to do the other cylinders, you do the same thing. You get the cylinder to top dead center, or the piston to top dead center. So that is basically the compression stroke. So you want both of the valve train closed. That's going to be the compression stroke, or the beginning of the power stroke. So you want that done. This is set to top dead center right now for cylinder 1. The way to do that is there's a mark on the cam wheel, and you basically want it pointing straight up. I know you can't see it right now, but then you rotate the engine 90 degrees, like so, like I've just done. And then these ones will be ready. You can probably hear that. These ones will be ready to adjust. So, this one, there's some schmutz here on the, I'll get that with a towel later. Don't forget to bring a towel, you never know what'll happen. So I'm going to go ahead and do these ones. I'm just going to follow the same deal, kinda. Well, not kinda, I'm going to. Me giving broken English directions. Follow the same thing, kinda. Follow the yellow brick road. That one's alright. That one needs to be loosened up a little. So, it's a lot of repetitive stuff, just like I stated in some of my other videos when I was doing the valve seals. It's a lot of repetition. It's a lot of memorizing numbers and memorizing how processes and, you know, Masonic dances and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot that goes into this stuff. So if you really aren't up for doing this, I would highly suggest you just have an engine builder take care of something like this. So, but it's also good learning. Like, see, I just cranked it down too much when it was actually quite loose. So we're gonna go back off just a tad and see. Yep, and that's perfect. So now we're gonna do this one, which was kind of gaping Oprah's vajayjay here, and we're gonna run these guys down together, and then we're just gonna start them at this, and that's too tight, so we're gonna back these off, back these off, and then there we go. So I call that good. I'm not going to show you the other side because it's literally just the same thing I did, and that was boring enough. But there's also another video that explains, you know, how to do this very well. It's by Brian's Mobile 1. I will link it in the description. The guy's awesome. He's a mechanical genius, and he does primarily work on Subarus. He's got a lot of Subaru stuff. So if you like Subarus, then definitely give his channel a look-see. But anyways, if you like this video, please rate, subscribe, like, send me death threats. Check out the links in the description, especially if you want to see that video by Brian's Mobile 1. And yeah, I will catch you in the next video. And thank you for watching. I appreciate it greatly.